It's Wolf, and I have a really cool tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how to play Club Penguin in single player mode. Kind of. It's not really mode. You guys will see what I mean. So, as most of you know, Club Penguin shut down all the way back in 2017, but there were private servers and things like that. And I mean, there still are private servers and things like that. They existed before Club Penguin even shut down, and they were like unofficial versions of Club Penguin, and they were the main way to play Club Penguin. And the issue is that even though private servers work as a way to play Club Penguin, and usually they have like all the mini games and all that stuff on them, as I have mentioned in previous YouTube videos and as a whole bunch of other YouTubers have also mentioned, there's just a lot of issues with private servers, both on like the side of just literally keeping them running, and then also on the administration side, because there's not any actual like companies behind the private servers. There's a whole bunch of issues with it. So private servers are not really the best way to play Club Penguin if you just want to like play the game of Club Penguin. However, there is actually a speedrunning client for Club Penguin that was developed, and even though originally it started out as a speedrunning thing, they actually just recently renamed it to just the Club Penguin Singleplayer Client, actually like right before I decided that I was going to investigate this and make this video. And I've mentioned it before because it is like a way to play Club Penguin on your own. What it does mainly is it pretty much sets up like a private server, but not on the internet. It kind of sets up a server on your own local network, so it's just you playing, and you might be able to play with other computers on your own network over LAN, but I'm not totally sure about that. And there's also a really cool feature that I'm going to mention later in the video that you guys will see. But so I'm just going to show you guys how to download this and how to get it all set up and everything. First off, you're going to want to go to the GitHub page for this, github/sticksstuff/cpsc, Club Penguin Singleplayer Client. This is actually my third attempt making this video. The first two times, something went wrong. I know that this does work though, because I did it on the $200 laptop. Now I'm doing it on the mini PC for this video. I did get it to work though, so just make sure to follow my instructions very specifically, because things can get screwed up if you don't follow them like really specifically. So you can also just follow on the installation guide, which is pretty much what I did. And there's also another YouTube video that one of the developers I think put together for this. So I'm going to leave both the doc, the Google Doc here, and the YouTube video that I think the developer made about how to install it in the description. But I just figured I wanted to make my own tutorial because I've had some Club Penguin videos before that got a lot of views, so I figured that I should make my own. So we are pretty much just going to follow this document like really closely throughout this. So the first thing, this is what actually seemed to be giving me a problem before. There's two different links to XAMPP. XAMPP is kind of like I don't really even know how to describe it. It's sort of a program that does all sorts of server website type of things, but it's used in a lot of Club Penguin private servers and also in this single player client. You're going to want to use the link that is in the Google Doc. There is also a link on the actual GitHub page, but this seems to be a different version. Now this version on this GitHub page worked on the $200 laptop when I installed this before, but it did not work on this mini PC. So if one or the other doesn't work for you, you should try the other one and just see if that one will work for you. But for this, I'm going to go with the one that's in the Google Doc because this is the one that worked. So it's going to lead you to a download from SourceForge, but it's just I think it's just an older version of XAMPP. By the way, when I did this on the mini, or not on the mini PC, when I did this on the $200 laptop, the whole thing, after I got everything set up and everything, I did a virus scan of the entire computer and nothing came up. So there shouldn't be any like creepy or weird stuff or viruses or anything in any of these files. Now we have that downloaded. Now we're going to go ahead and install XAMPP. So it's going to be on our downloads here. As you guys can see, this is like the first time I've actually used the mini PC in a video, so there's like nothing on it. So install this. A lot of this tutorial is honestly just going to be like waiting. So we're going to go through the installer here and then wait about 5 to 7 minutes. This popped up on the $200 laptop also. Don't really know what this warning is actually telling me, but it doesn't actually seem to affect anything, so you can just ignore it. You're going to want to install all of this stuff. I'm not sure if you actually need all of it, but I know that it seems like it uses a whole bunch of this stuff, so I would suggest downloading all the different components. Let it install to the default place. That's something that even the doc tells you. You do not need Bitnami for XAMPP though, so you can go ahead and not download that because that's just going to take up more space. So now we're going to let that install. Alright, so XAMPP is just about installed. It's creating the uninstaller, and there we go, all done. You don't need to start the control panel right then, so I wouldn't really suggest it. So we're gonna go ahead and finish. Also, once you're done, any of the like zipped files we downloaded, I think you can delete at the end, but I'm not totally sure, but I think so. So anyway, after that, we are going to go ahead and grab the CPSC master file, which is actually the GitHub page itself, so download that as a zip. And then now you wait again, so we will go ahead and zoom or skip to when this is downloaded, but this is the next part, so time to wait again until this finishes downloading. Alright, so the master file set is downloaded now as a zip, so back into the guide here. Next thing we're going to want to do is actually, we're going to want to take all the files that are in here and put them into XAMPP. So this part's a little bit strange actually, because it doesn't ask you to unzip the files, and you don't seem to need to, which is strange. I guess it probably unzips them anyway. So you go to htdocs within your XAMPP file. You guys just saw me locate, go navigate to it. So htdocs, and then you're going to want to go into the CPSC master, and then there's going to be another CPSC master file, and then you're going to open that, and then this is where you grab all the files to move into here. So we're going to highlight all of these. Shift click will highlight everything between two files you click on. So we're just going to drag all these right into here. Like I said, doesn't ask you to unzip anything or anything like that. So yeah, and then at the end, it's going to ask us if we want to replace like one file, and you're going to want to click yes. I don't know if it actually affects anything, but I think you're going to want to click yes. I did, and then it worked. So yeah, we will go ahead and skip ahead or fast forward through this. Alright, now we're at the part that I mentioned earlier about replacing that file. So yes, you do want to replace that file. Like I said, not sure if it actually affects anything if you don't, but I would suggest to. So next up, we go ahead and we open up. This is where we actually start kind of getting active and doing more than just downloading things. We open up the CPSC beta 4 file, which is actually going to open in your web browser. It's going to give you this. You're going to let it run anyway. Pop up a little thing, and then it's going to open up in your web browser. I think this actually might be the page you can like play it on if you do have a Flash enabled browser, but I'm going to get to actually the Flash stuff in a minute because of Flash Player shutting down. We can work around that without downloading another browser, but with downloading like a viewer thing instead, which I think is a little safer. So then we are going to go back, and we're going to go down to the XAMPP control files back in the main XAMPP folder, and then choose English or German if you speak German. Then we're going to go ahead and stop Apache and MySQL. Then we're going to exit out of everything, all of that stuff. Then we download a new MySQL folder. So this download link, I think, leads to the same place that I'm going to show you anyway, but I would suggest going to a different way to get to it, because I noticed, I think it might be the same file, but this is how I did it earlier and it worked. So actually, you're going to want to go down here to this general mods folder, open that up, and then from there, go to the clean MySQL folder. Like I said, I think this is the same file, but this is how I did it earlier, and this is how it worked, so I would just suggest doing it this way because it's only like 2 clicks out of the way anyhow. So the MySQL folder already is downloaded, so we now go ahead and head into here. So you might think that you would just want to like drag it into here, but actually we're going to want to delete the original MySQL folder. It seems to not really want to work properly. So again, this is a zipped file, but you don't actually need to extract it. So just open it, and then we're going to delete the MySQL folder that is originally in the XAMPP folder. So just delete that totally. And then we're going to just drag the new one straight into here, and then it's going to copy over. This one doesn't take very long to copy. So yeah, and then this is the part where I was getting an error earlier, and I'm going to explain it. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. It shouldn't happen again, but I will explain how I fixed it, assuming that I get everything working properly. So It might also just be my Elgato. I've had weird things happen before where like running a video file, running your video source through an Elgato screws up file stuff for some reason. I have no idea how that happens. But next up, we can exit out of the downloads, and then now we actually are into the point of booting the game up. So we need to do two things to boot the game up. We need to go back into the XAMPP control panel, start both this and MySQL. Both things are working. Now, something I would suggest testing here is stopping both also. So if both stop, that is also a good thing. Because I ran into a weird thing earlier where MySQL wouldn't stop. So another explanation of another quick error explanation that I want to go into, and I'm going to pop up a picture so long as I still have the original recordings of the attempts earlier. If you get an error about a DLL file, I got that earlier. It didn't happen when I did it on the $200 laptop. It happened when I did it on the mini PC though, which is what I'm working on right now. What the video is on the mini PC. That is what you guys are seeing on the screen. If you get the error about the DLL file, there are two suggestions I have. One, download the other version of XAMPP than the version you downloaded. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, there's the version that's on the GitHub page, and then there's the version that's in the Google Doc. Try whatever version you didn't try. If that doesn't work, there seems to be some sort of weird thing with like different updates of Windows where DLL files are like not there or whatever. If that doesn't work, then I will leave a link in the video description to a video I found about that actually tells you how to fix some sort of general DLL error. In the description of that video, it gives you links and shows you how to add the DLL file that you're probably needing. If you do that, after you download those two DLL files, or one if you're on 32-bit Windows, but after you download the DLL files from that tutorial, start this whole process over again. Again though, if you don't get that error, just ignore everything I just said and keep going to with what I was saying earlier. So if you are able to start both of these and you don't get any errors, completely ignore all the stuff I just said about DLL files. Next thing we're going to want to start is we're going to go into htdocs, and we're going to go down to run the batch file. There's a couple different run things. Make sure you're clicking on the Windows batch file. That's going to run. Also, there might be a few areas in this video where I like blur the screen just because there's like various network things, and I don't know if any of it is actually showing like personal network things, but there might be areas where I blur it. But you guys don't need to worry about that because you're going to be the only ones looking at your screen unless you're recording a video. So anyhow, so now the server is up and running, but we still have another thing to do to actually play the server. Because Flash is shut down, we can't just simply go to the web page in a browser. We actually need to do something else. Sorry, my chair is creaking. So there's a few different ways you can do this. As it says here, you can play the game on a flash projector or you can play the game on a browser. I would not suggest doing the browser option because I think that is a little less secure to have a flash enabled browser on your computer because flash isn't supported anymore. If you download the flash projector though, you are choosing specifically what file to open. So I think that that's safer. So you can go ahead and download the flash like shower thing through that link there that's in the document, and then it downloads. There's not even like a extraction or anything for that. It's just the actual application itself that downloads. So if you go this way with it, which I would suggest, you just open this up, and then this flash viewer thing will open up, and then it gives you the specific address you need to go to right in the document. So you're going to want to go ahead into the flash viewer, click open, and then paste in that location, and boom, there's Club Penguin. But we're not done yet. So in order to actually create a penguin, it's a little bit of a different process than usual. As you can see, there's no password. So when you make your penguin, you just type in the username you want for your penguin. It's going to log you in, and then you're going to select a server. But when you select a server, it's going to disconnect you, and then you just close the file and then open it up again, and your penguin has been created. So connection was lost. We're just going to close it and then reopen it again. Hit start, log back in with that penguin name, and it'll log us right in, and we'll be able to play Club Penguin and single player. Like I said, it's not on any external servers anywhere or anything. So yes, we are now in Club Penguin, and you can do most things. There's some stuff missing because it's not Oh, well, sorry, I forgot music. Hang on, let me go to an area without music. It's gonna be feeding back through the microphone. Well, there's various things that aren't perfect about this because it is made mostly for speedrunning, but a lot of stuff in this works. Like, I think, pretty sure a bunch of the games work and things like that. So if we try, like, Kart Surfer, hang on, let me turn my screen volume off real quick. So yeah, as you can see, Kart Surfer works. Also, you're probably noticing this is not, like, the newest version of Club Penguin either. But yeah, I mean, this is single player Club Penguin, which is really, really cool. So that's just how to get it all set up and how to play it. I do have one more thing I want to show in this video, which is that you can actually look at the files and stuff. And I'm not really sure how, but I'm pretty sure you can go ahead and like add custom rooms and commands and things like that, because effectively this is a CPPS, but it's just on your own home network. It's not actually on the internet or anything. It's just going to be you being able to play it. So if you know how to like do all sorts of stuff with like adding new rooms and all that type of stuff, I'm pretty sure you can, because in a lot of ways it's configured just like a CPPS. So we're gonna go ahead and exit out of here, and if you want to shut the server off, you just simply exit out of the run file that we opened earlier. Interesting thing is, if you look at this, you can actually see like the various things happening as you do them. Like if you click to move, like you'll see the different stuff like happening in this file. So if we exit out of that, that shuts the server off, and then we can go ahead and stop these as well. Lastly, something interesting is that you can actually look at the like files and stuff with what's happening, because you have sort of like admin access to the stuff behind the scenes of it. I'm trying to remember exactly where it is. If I remember, okay, yeah, here it is. You can manage all the penguins you have by going to localhost/phpMyAdmin. You might actually need to have these running to get that to work properly. Oh yeah, you have to have those running to get it to work properly. Okay, Portuguese. Interesting. Let's change that to English real quick. Okay, there we go. Now we see a bunch of extra information. MySQL, that's actually not where we need to be. It's in... Where is it? It's one of these. Is it Kitsune? Kitsune, yeah. This is where you can look at kind of all the various things of behind the scenes of how the servers work. So this is where just all sorts of like logs of things would be. One of the most interesting ones is actually the penguins one. As you can see, your penguin is actually, where is it? The final page. The penguin you create will actually be penguin 143. So there are 142 other pre-existing accounts that are included like when you do this. So actually, if I show you guys, and this is just like testing accounts and stuff, I'm pretty sure, but let me go ahead and show you guys. You can actually log in as these accounts also. There's not really anything interesting about them, honestly, but you can do it. So we got to go back to htdocs, down to run again to start the server up again, and then into the Flash player, and then go ahead back. Okay, so now we are at the login screen. And so if we just go ahead and log in as Music Master here, as you guys can see, it's letting us log in with this account, which is kind of interesting. And there's really not that much different about these accounts. The color of their penguin is different, and they have spy phones and stuff, but there's really not too much like special about the pre-existing accounts. As far as I know, there might be some like weird ones thrown in there, but yeah, that's that. And then you can also look at like postcards and see like which penguins sent postcards to different penguins and stuff. Yeah, there's not really that much else for me to say. Oh, and then there's like who owns Puffles and stuff like that. Redemption, I think that's if you had like different codes for redeeming stuff like Club Penguin did with like book codes and things like that. But yeah, anyway, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can look at in here with just like server things. So if you know how to play around with any of that, you can do that. And then one last thing to show you guys, which I'm going to bring up more in a future video. As you noticed earlier, mods. Yeah, there's mods for this, which is kind of crazy. So you can do like, these are like actual mods. similar to like what you would find for like Fallout New Vegas or Skyrim. Like they're actually stuff that change things within the game, which is really, really cool. There's not that many of them, and I'm not actually sure how people make them. I think it might just be like SWF file, Swift file replacers. But yeah, I'm going to explore that in another video that I'm probably going to record right after this, but it might take a couple more days between this one and that one to get uploaded. Anyway though, that is pretty much it for this video. A lot of stuff, but it's really overall a pretty straightforward process to play Club Penguin in single player. Shout out to the people who developed this. It says on GitHub who the contributors are. Yeah, it's a really cool project that they put together originally for speedrunners, but also is like a really good way if you want to play Club Penguin without having to deal with all the drama and stuff of private servers. It's perfect for me too, because I've always been interested more in like the tech side of Club Penguin than the actual like gameplay side of Club Penguin, at least as, you know, like an adult. So anyway, thank you guys for watching this video. Like I said, I'm gonna have a video about the mod stuff soon also. So thanks for watching. See you guys in other videos, and bye-bye.